text, no reply. That's when I knew.
Yeah,
I knew.
circumnavigate the globe is the catch.
Hey y'all, welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's Dammy, and today I'm gonna be filming my 15 and pregnant story for y'all because y'all requested this video. Okay, guys, so I just wanted to say right before we get into this video that the reason why it says part 1 is because I ended up cutting the video into 2 different videos just because the first video, like altogether, it was way too long and I didn't want to bore you guys. So yeah, so let's get into it, because why waste time? So it all started when I was 15, right? Because I was a sneaky little hoe at that age. You know, I wanted to be
Oh my god.
I'm kidding, y'all, but okay. So it was around Valentine's Day. On Valentine's Day, baby, possibly. I, you know, did my thing, got dirty, did the nasty, and ended up pregnant. But here's the thing, y'all. I didn't think I was pregnant just because after February 14th, because, you know, I wasn't being careful, but I still got my period the 21st. So it was like, I'm not pregnant, I'm saved, thank you, Jesus, you saved me, you gave me another chance. And I ended up with my chance. I didn't feel any symptoms until March 8th. I was at a concert, and let me tell y'all, I didn't even think there were symptoms because I usually would get like a cold like 25 times in 1 month. Not literally, but you know. So I was like, maybe I'm catching a cold. And I was at a concert and it was kind of cold in there. But then again, I was like, I was feeling nauseous and dizzy. So I was like, maybe it's the smell of the smoke, the cigarette smoke, whatever. Because it smelled like, it's a casino, you know, it smells nasty. I was just sitting there trying to enjoy the concert. But then I was like, no, I need to go to sleep or something because I felt really sick. So I sit down and I'm just sitting there, laying there, like, I don't know how to explain. There's like the chairs, you know how they go down, like, I don't know how to explain, but I was leaning on I was sitting on my chair, leaning on the chair in front of me, and my aunt noticed I was like not feeling well, and she actually asked me, oh, are you okay? And I was like, yeah, like, I'm totally fine, you know. But she as well probably thought it was just like a cold or whatnot. Okay, and then dang, it's been so many years, I don't even remember, y'all. God, like, I forgot, like Dory, you know, like. Okay, so then a week later I was at Tay's house, and out of the nowhere I felt like asking him. I was like, what if I'm pregnant, you know? Like, what would we do? Like, what would happen? This and that. And we talked about it, and it was like a feeling I had where I needed to ask that because I felt like I was pregnant. I just didn't want to say anything to anybody, and I felt like I needed to ask to make sure that I wasn't gonna be alone. So a week after me asking him, I came over to his house, and I actually started feeling really sick. Like, I even had, like, I got a fever, which was pretty weird to me. After I found out I was pregnant, I was like, why a fever? Like, pregnancies don't have fevers, but that's kind of weird, you know? So I had a fever, I was throwing up, I had him take care of me like the whole night. I spent the night at his house because I was just feeling way too sick to even go home. And, you know, I had him take care of me. So then after that, like 2 days later, when I was home, I had like an app on my phone where I would check my period to see like when it was gonna come, like, so I can be prepared for it, I guess you can say, so I won't, like, you know, if you're a girl, you'll probably understand why you have the app, because you don't want to have no accidents or whatever. So I checked it and it said I was late for like 2 days, and I told my aunt the same when I went to the concert with. I was like, I am 2 days late on my period. She goes, just wait for like 2 more days, 3, and then from there you'll find out if you're pregnant, because it'll be like you missed a whole week. She's like, right now it could just be that you're a little bit like behind, or your cycle's changing since you're active in the sheets, you know. So I was like, okay. And I told Tay, I was like, I'm 2 days late on my period. And he was like, oh, you're probably behind too. Just like my aunt, they were like, oh, you'll get it, just wait it out. And I ended up not fucking getting it, right? Okay, anyways, is it just me, or when you take the little top off the soda can, it like doesn't come out the same? It like gets stuck. Like,
I know a kid, one time he did that, and when he was drinking it, he
his
pulled
lip?
it away and his ripped off his lip.
Ouch. Anyways, back on to what we were talking about, which was, where was I? So they told me to wait it out, and I was like, okay, fuck it, why not? And then I'm late for 4 days, and I tell my aunt again, I'm like, I'm late 4 days, and I'm like, you know what, I'm never late. Like, I have a strong feeling I'm pregnant. And she goes, are you sure? And she starts asking me questions. Like, she's like, do you use protection? Are you like taking care of yourself in any type of way? Did you know? And I'm like, no. Like, and she goes, well, does he even use the pull-out method? And I'm like,
Hell
no. Damn, I'm all over the place. Sorry, guys. So I'm late 4 days now. And I tell my aunt, you know, I'm like, I need to take a test, because this isn't normal for me. I never miss my period for this long. If I do, it's maybe like a day. And I was like, and yes, like, I'm not taking care of myself. I'm not being careful, nothing. So then she's like, I have a pregnancy test here if you want to take it. And I was like, yeah, I'll take the pregnancy test, because, you know, I'm kind of scared. And when I was about to take it, I go, never mind, I don't want to know if I'm pregnant. She's like, well, I mean, we're here. She's like, just take it. And I'm like, no, I have a feeling I'm pregnant. And I'm like, what if I don't get my period? Like, I'm scared, you know? And she's like, just take it. So I had a feeling it was going to be positive. That's why I didn't want to take it. And I texted Tay. I'm like, I'm going to take a pregnancy test, because, you know, I'm 4 days late. And he didn't answer for like an hour. And I didn't take that pregnancy test until like an hour later anyways. So then when he answered, and he was like, did you take it already? And I was like, no, I'm barely going to. So then he's like, okay, let me know what it says. So then I take it, but I give it to my aunt, you know. So it like comes back positive right away, like literally 2 seconds later. It's like, you're pregnant. She goes, you're pregnant, Samantha. Like, I can't believe it. Like, you're pregnant. And then after that, he walks out. Okay, so let me just say this. Let me, you know, because it's like kind of make, I don't know. So I didn't have no time. Like, I can't even explain like a different like story to how I told my parents, because I didn't get to tell them. Just because here she looks at the test and she's like, oh my god, you're pregnant. And she goes, I gotta go tell your grandma. So she walks out and goes to the other side, like around the corner, kind of to the other little house. And she goes in there and she tells my grandma. she's like, are you busy? And I'm like, fuck, like, because I followed her, you know, because like I want to hear too. And she's like on the phone. She's on the phone with my aunt, and my cousin is sitting on the couch on the phone with my mom. So then my aunt walks in there and she's like, Samantha's pregnant, in Spanish. And then my grandma's like, what? And then my aunt heard. So then my cousin's like, what? Are you dead ass? And she's like, yeah, she's pregnant. And then my mom hears, and then my mom's like, let me talk to Samantha. So then I'm on the phone with my mom, and my mom's like, see, I knew it. I knew it was a bad idea taking you to your boyfriend's house, like this and this and that, like just talking shit, you know how a mom would be. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. So then 2 days later, she tells my dad. So I didn't even get to tell my dad either. And my dad actually was just like, I knew it. I told your mom to not drop you off at your boyfriend's house, like this and this and that. Like, first of all, not even gonna say it because they probably gonna watch this video. But anyways, I text Tay. I go back to my aunt's house and I text Tay and I'm like, I'm pregnant. And I send him the pregnancy test. And I'm like, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? Like, just sending him a whole bunch of messages, you know? Like that's gonna make him answer. But it never did. Because he never answered till like 2 hours later. So then when he answers, he's like,
Just give me time to think.
huh? So he's like, just give me time to think. And I'm like, okay, whatever, you know? So then like a week later, my mom had an appointment set up for me. And my mom had been talking to me. She's like, do you want to have an abortion? Like, are you sure you want to have the baby? Like, my dad talked to me about it too, but he was like, my dad didn't try to say it like in a bad way. My dad was like, you just need to like finish school. And my mom's over here like, you're not gonna be able to go out no more, you know that? You're gonna have to be sitting there changing diapers, and you're gonna be sitting there spending money on the baby and not yourself. Like, you're not gonna be able to buy yourself nothing. That's my mom. And my dad's over here like, you need to finish school. So they're both trying to like convince me to have an abortion. But I told my grandma when I talked to her, I'm like, no, I don't want to have an abortion. I know I'm young, but shit happens and I gotta get through it, and I just don't believe in abortion, so that's not happening with me. And so then I go to my appointment and I listen to the baby's heartbeat, and the lady asks me, do you want to like have an abortion? And I'm like, no, it has a heartbeat. But I was like, no. So I decided to not have an abortion because I'm against it. So we all have our opinions on that, but to me that's murder and I can't. So then from there, they tell me, when I tell them that I'm not having an abortion, they send me to a high-risk pregnancy because I have thyroid problems. So they're like, you're gonna need to be going to high-risk pregnancy so you could get checked all the time. You have to go monitor yourself every week, like to make sure the baby's okay. And it's also that you're at such a young age, so like the baby could not make it. And you know, I wasn't worried. I was like, okay, I'll do what I gotta do to keep my baby alive and healthy and all that. So then how Tay's mom found out was a grimy little hoe decided to go be a step ahead of us and tell on us. Anyways, some grimy little bitch decided to go ahead, like I said, she was a step ahead of us and snitched on us. So it ended up being a big problem, which I'm not gonna go into detail because that's nobody's business but ours, and that's put behind or whatever. So I was going to high-risk pregnancy, and okay, let me just say, at the time I was by myself, just me and my mom, and you know, I was going to my doctor's appointment. I ended up in the hospital like a couple times because I was having contractions and I was dilating a little bit, just a little bit, you know. But the reason why I was also dilating was because I had a short cervix, so they had to like stitch it up or something like that, because you know the baby could have been premature, which he wasn't, and I never got like the things to hold my cervix closed or nothing. Boo. So yeah, I did end up in the hospital like 3-4 times, and I had to be monitored because they thought that he was gonna be born like 27 weeks, 26 weeks, like. And luckily I just drank more water and stayed in bed more, and it helped a lot. So then there really isn't much. I didn't really have cravings. I never had like symptoms like that. I guess I would just get mad a lot. I didn't really crave nothing. I was never really nauseous. I was never really throwing up. I just wanted to sleep basically and eat. So another thing is that I never ever really took my prenatal vitamins, and I had anemia and thyroid problems, so I was at high risk pregnancy. So I was at high risk pregnancy for that, because you know they wanted the baby to have everything he needed. I know y'all could see him through the mirror. Stay tuned for part 2, y'all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you guys comment, like, share, subscribe, post notifications, and all that.